Hi, I'm Jason O'Neill, and welcome to Hoops Factory.
Psycho Beats.
We're here at Rancho Mirage High School for the Maxpreps Holiday Classic. As always, some of the top prep basketball players in the country are in attendance. Let's go inside and see who we can catch up with. Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with DJ Wilson, one of the top prep basketball players in the class of 2014. DJ, you recently committed, or I guess it wasn't that recently, but you committed to the University of Michigan. What went into that decision?
I just thought it was the best fit for me. Academically, they're one of the best public schools in the country, and in basketball, they're bar none the best basketball school in the country. So it was a great fit, and I couldn't lose, so I just picked Michigan.
Okay, great. And were you getting recruited by any kind of Pac-12 schools that would have kept you in state?
Yeah, I was getting recruited by Cal, Stanford, a lot of Pac-12 schools. I mean, Cal was in my last four, but I just felt Michigan was my best fit. So.
Okay. And how much did the recent success, for instance, they're coming off a national championship game appearance, did that weigh into your decision?
I mean, not really, because at the time they weren't really recruiting me when they had one. So, I mean, I just played well this summer, and then they started recruiting me, and it was just the best fit for me. So.
Okay, great. And one thing I really noticed tonight is kind of your second jump. I mean, you're obviously very athletic, but one thing that was really impressive was kind of your second jump off the floor. Is that something you've really tried to work on, or what exactly are you looking to work on and improve to be better at the next level?
Yeah, I mean, we work on that a lot, conditioning-wise, plyometrics, all that. And I mean, we have a lot of great scorers on the team, so I knew that I didn't really have to score the ball a lot. I just had to rebound, so that's what my main focus was on tonight. I mean, I think I did a great job on it. So.
Okay. Now, is that something that's difficult for you to kind of focus on the other aspects of basketball other than scoring?
No, not really. I mean, Coach gives me my assignment before the game, and he tells me to go do it. I mean, and so it's up to me, and I did it tonight. So.
Okay, great. And one thing that I was reading that at least most of the pundits are saying you need to work on is strength, things of that nature, getting stronger. Is that something you're really cognizant of and you're going to really try to work on?
Yeah, I'm in the weight room with my conditioning coach every day after practice, stuff like that. I mean, once I go into my body, things are going to change and all that, so I'm not too worried right now.
Okay, and it did look like you were real comfortable, especially in the mid-range taking shots. Is that something, do you feel like you're more than likely going to be like a 3 at the next level? Or if you do kind of grow into that body, you'll be more of a traditional back-to-the-basket player?
No, I've always played like point forward on the perimeter and stuff. I mean, but for me being the biggest guy on the team, I have to play with my back to the basket. And so, I mean, my jumper wasn't falling tonight, but I'm used to it, and I just like playing on the perimeter. So.
Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with Uchenna Iroegbu, one of the top prep basketball players from Capital Christian in Sacramento. You guys actually just beat Westchester, and we're actually in the middle of nowhere in the desert in Palm Springs. But Sacramento has a very rich basketball tradition, the Bay Area especially. How much confidence do you feel when you come from the Bay Area that you can go up against anybody? I know you guys were in Chicago just a short time ago.
I think we get a lot of good competition up there, but sometimes we don't really get the recognition that I think we deserve. So I think it's good for us to come to tournaments like this and show what we can really do.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, just recently there were 3 All-Americans out of the Bay Area. Just last year, Aaron Gordon, Jabari Bird, and Marcus Lee. Is that a tradition you're really looking to kind of enhance?
Yeah, a lot of us guys from Northern California are really trying to promote all the athletes that we really have and that sometimes get overlooked.
And we were able to speak with Ivan Rambo of Bishop O'Dowd. He mentioned that a lot of the Northern California players kind of have that dog in them. Is that something that you kind of really think that you have a leg up on against, especially the Southern California teams?
Yeah, I think if you're a small school or anybody that's getting overlooked, you have to have that dog in you to really get yourself out there. You have to have that edge to you.
Okay, great. And then talk about your recruiting. You're a senior. Have you already declared?
No, I haven't. I'm getting recruited by a lot of mid-major schools, but I'm hoping that tournaments like this can really, boost my recruiting. Yeah.
Okay. And was that kind of a goal for you when you came to a tournament like this? Is that, hey, you kind of really wanted to show out to maybe advance your status?
I mean, you always want to play good, but at the end of the day, it's all about the team. I love my teammates. They're my brothers, so I play for them. That's what it is.
Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with Devon Jones. Coach Jones, you're the coach of the Capital Christian basketball team. This is your second year as a coach of the Capital Christian basketball team, and you have one of the highest rated players in the state in DJ Wilson. Do you find that adds any extra pressure being a young coach, or are you really just trying to do your best anyway?
You know what, I'm just here for the kids. I'm here for the team, and I want to support them, be there to pick them up when they're down, and be there to motivate them when they need it. I don't claim to be the best X's and O's coach, but they'll run through a brick wall for me, and that's what makes us go.
Okay, and one thing that we've really been noticing, especially this season with all the parity in high school basketball, that effort really is key. Is that something you're really trying to stress to your team?
Oh, definitely. What we're trying to do is, I think personally we have some of the best guards in the state. I know we didn't come out that way, but I think we have a mismatch in every game. So we went to 4 guards tonight, and we just made it a challenge. If you can't stop me from going to the basket, we're going to keep going.
Okay, great. And then I understand that you were able to coach your son as well on the team. How much of a benefit was that for you, or maybe an advantage, or something that really kind of made the job more attractive to you?
Well, originally I never wanted to coach him in high school, but you don't always get to choose when you want to do things. And the time was now for me to coach, so I stepped up and took the job. Coaching my son is fun. And it's emotional for me because this is one of his first times I ever really put him in a varsity game. And he's been, he's averaging 25 points a game at JV, getting his confidence because we have a really good team. And I felt like he couldn't get a lot of playing time, playing for us. But we're shorthanded today. One of our best players, one of our starters is at the Army Bowl. So we put him in the game and he performed very well.
Okay, great. And how much, I guess, are you stressing conditioning, especially given the schedule you guys? I know you guys were in Chicago, we're in Palm Springs now, and you guys are a Sacramento school. How much are you really stressing conditioning? Because obviously if you're shorthanded, that's going to be something that's going to be key.
Yeah, it's one thing that we talked about in the locker room. I mean, we ran bleachers, we ran miles, we were in the weight room every single day of the summer and before preseason. So I think it's paying off right now. I think we're a kind of team that gets stronger in the fourth quarter.
Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with head coach of the JSerra basketball team, Jodey Gardner. Coach Gardner, you have a unique experience in basketball. For instance, you were drafted by the Houston Rockets. You've also worked with a number of pros through AAU team, I believe, Brandon Jennings, Kevin Love, among others. Do you think that gives you a unique perspective to try and help high school basketball players, or do you still feel the same pressure as all other coaches? Hey, you just got to win.
It does help to have an opportunity to play and in the NBA and play in college, and also work with elite athletes. It makes a coach's job better, especially those kinds of athletes you're mentioning, the Kevin Loves, the Ronaldo Sidneys, the James Hardens, the Brandon Jennings. I mean, we have 24 guys now in the NBA that I've been able to coach and or train. And that was basically through SCA, Southern California All-Stars, which ended up being the #1 team in the land, and they were saying the #1 team of all time. We were 48-0 that one year in 2006, and of those 9 players on that team, 8 of them are in the NBA right now. So that's been a clear advantage, and it's great. I get these guys to come back and give back and serve our kids today, our youth today, which is big in our program, is serving each other and helping each other get better and lifting each other up. And, you know, as far as the pressures as a coach, I think all high school coaches have to win. I think we work just as hard, whether you have the experience or not. The connections certainly help, bringing some of those resources back and around and actually have them there in person. Kids are so visual. They really want to talk to NBA players and athletes and hear from them because they hear it from us. And yes, I played in the NBA, and yes, I was drafted in '84. Played for the Houston Rockets, and that was great to play for the Houston Rockets. But at the same time, that was back in '84. A lot of these kids didn't know me. They don't know. They might know Dr. J and those kind of guys, but they didn't really know me. And so it's hard to go back and talk to them about things that are going on today. So bringing those younger athletes that are in the NBA currently today is clearly an advantage for our high school kids.
And Coach, you've had a lot of experience with NBA players. How much do you take that into kind of your coaching philosophy where, hey, I want to try and make this player the best he can be? For instance, Coach Calipari is famous for saying his most proudest moment was when he had 5 kids drafted in the first round as opposed to winning a national championship. Do you kind of share that philosophy, or, hey, you'd like to win state tournament?
Well, I think you all want to share that philosophy and helping kids get to the highest level they can get at. As a coach, our job is to make them better than they think they can be. And that's what Calipari is talking about, is making them better than they should be. And also he uses that #1 draft pick thing, that you come here, you can be one and done. Some athletes are looking to do that. Some need to do that. The athletes I'm dealing with today are guys that need to go to college, need to experience the college experience, and then go from there to maybe playing overseas. And back on just talking about a little experience, the nice thing about myself, I'm from a basketball family. Jerry West and my dad were roommates in West Virginia back in 1958. So Jerry West is kind of an uncle of mine. And so I've been able to share a lot of experiences with him. So that team was #1 in the country back in 1957, and that's with Hot Rod Hundley, Jerry West, Fred Schaus was the coach, and they lost to Pete Newell's team in the finals that year, and they were 27-1. So when Jerry West and Hot Rod Hundley and my dad are roommates, it's kind of in my blood. So I've had a lot of experience being around those guys.
Okay, great. And you touched on your team this year. You guys actually have a really big front line with Jace Johnson, Nick Paulus, among others. You guys should be able to challenge kind of any team in the state. What are your prospects for this upcoming season?
Well, you're right. We are huge. Unfortunately, we had a little depletion in the last couple of weeks. Nick Paulus, my 6'8" kid, is ineligible right now academically, so we're trying to get him back on track, and we're hoping that that's going to happen before league play. The other big kid that you're talking about, Chase Johnson, has to sit 30 days because he transferred from Mater Dei, so he'll be available for league. And then my other big kid you're talking about actually just got here today for this tournament. We're in the open division playing all these tough teams, but I'm playing with a bunch of guards. I have no bigs. So he'll be back today, and I didn't realize how important my bigs are. Usually that point guard's important. Well, I found out real quick that we need our bigs, so I'm really glad that our other big guy is here, and that's Dylan Osakowski.
Yeah, we were actually able to speak with Dylan and Nick. Given once you get all your big guys together, do you think you're really going to have kind of the sky's the limit kind of mentality, or do you think that, hey, it's going to be a rough road to hoe however it goes?
No, I think it's as a coach, you love having bigs. It's just making sure that you do what's best for the team. If you could play all 3 of them together, then you would. And when our plan is to play all 3, because we'd be 6'8", 6'9", and 6'11", and then we have a really good point guard in Johnny Vassar, and then we have Blake McBride, who's our 2. So there's another kid we have. We're going to get a 6'4" kid that's a 2 guard that's trying to get eligible. If we have all those guys in place, we think we can compete for a Trinity League championship. We think that we match up very, very well to Mater Dei. I think we match up to Bishop Gorman. I mean, we're not hiding from anybody. We're playing all the big boys. And once we get it full strength, I think we have a chance to do something special. This could be a special year for us if everything has to fall in place. I mean, we don't have great depth, but if everybody stays healthy, we have a chance to be special.
Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with Westchester basketball coach Ed Azzam. Coach, you recently got your 800 win, and oftentimes stats like that are more a functionality of kind of longevity and things of that nature. How have you been able to stay in this business for so long?
Well, I've had really good help with my assistant coaches, and especially DeWitt and Brian, but over the years I've had really good assistant coaches that have been very supportive and very helpful. And we've had great players, and not just talented players, but kids that were willing to listen, willing to learn, and work hard and be coached.
And we spoke with a couple of your players after the Redondo Union tournament a few months back. They all said the same thing, that coach really kind of has a system that he sticks to. Have you found that easier to kind of lean on a system that you can kind of go to year after year versus having to kind of change your system every time you get new talent?
Well, we have a philosophy. I have a philosophy of how I want the game played, but we have to tweak it, and we have to change things from year to year depending on the talent and the type of players that we have.
And this year you have had some talented players. For instance, Cameron Young is very talented, also Nick Hamilton, Leon Goodman, to name a few. You guys had very high projections early on, but you have some rough patches over the last couple of weeks. Oftentimes coaches will see those rough patches or losses as an opportunity to coach. Is that something you're kind of embracing?
Well, it's an opportunity for the kids to learn and be able to handle adversity. And we've had a couple stretches in early games where we played poorly. We lost the game in Hawaii to a very, very talented team. And so I wasn't too worried about that. But yeah, it's an opportunity for them to learn and bond together and become more of a cohesive unit.
And you do have a schedule, for instance, Hawaii. We saw you in Redondo Beach. We're right now in Rancho Mirage. I know that you guys were in Chicago. Are you worried about conditioning and things of that nature with your guys' schedule?
Well, we weren't in Chicago. So conditioning is a factor. We don't have that many kids. We're down to 10, and we're playing 8, maybe 9. A little bit of a factor, but we've worked hard in practice, and I think it's harder on them to practice 5-6 days in a row than it is for them to play 4 or 5 games in a row.
Hi, my name is Wayne Barnes-Woodard, and I'm Cam Young's brother, and you're watching Hoop Factory.
Jason O'Neill here with Myles Stewart of the Westchester basketball team. Myles, we actually caught up with you, most of the Westchester basketball team after the Redondo Union tournament, and you guys really had high hopes for the coming year. Obviously, you wanted to win your own tournament. You guys were going to be going out to Hawaii. You ended up finishing second in your own tournament, had some struggles. Oh, wow. Are you guys really looking to kind of get this turned around in a quick and timely manner?
Yeah, we're going to get it turned around. Yeah, we just got to bounce back off the losses and learn from our mistakes.
All right. And your coach has a lot of success, especially locally in the Southern California area. Did you feel as though kind of his strategies and things of that nature will get you back on the right track?
Yeah, he's a great coach. He's going to bounce. He'll get us back. We just got to get in the gym, work on it.
And you have a good size for your position, especially given your outside range. What kind of recruiting are you getting at the next level?
I'm getting Hampton University. They're looking at me, Nevada, University of Pacific, just waiting on them to come down to some games.
Okay. And then one thing we've really noticed about your Westchester team is you guys really seem to be very friendly, kind of like a family atmosphere. Your teammates, do you really embrace your teammates? Are you guys really kind of a brotherhood like that?
We're brothers, yeah. Eat lunch together, spend every day together. It's not a day we don't be together. Shit. We're together every day, yeah.
Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with Ryan Andrus, one of the top prep basketball players in the class of 2014 in the state of Utah. Ryan, you recently recruited to BYU. What went into that decision?
I don't know, just a lot of the coaching staff was a big decision. I know Coach O's has created a winning program at BYU, and so being a part of a winning program is fun.
Okay, and did you want to stay kind of in town locally, or at least in the state of Utah?
Yeah, I did, for the most part.
Okay, great. And then what kind of expectations do you guys have for this year? You guys are all the way out, obviously, in Rancho Mirage. You guys are taking on some of the top prep basketball teams in the country. What kind of expectations do you guys have for this year?
Obviously a state championship, and getting some big preseason competition is huge key going into a region and state tournament. So to get some big preseason wins like this is fun.
And one of probably your main competitions for state, I'm assuming, would be Lone Peak with TJ Hawes, who's actually going to be joining you at BYU. Does that kind of add to the enticing, or does that kind of add to the intrigue, knowing that you're going to be playing against maybe for some bragging rights?
Absolutely. We're obviously friends off the court. We played together, but separate high schools, it's obviously a big competition. So we're looking to beat Lone Peak this year.
Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with Brendan Baily of the American Fork High School basketball team. Brendan, I read recently that you were just 6'1" just last year. Have you found it difficult to kind of adjust to the growth spurt and just a coordination, just walking around, stuff like that?
No, all the problems with growing are just in my knees, so you just have to kind of watch out for that, but no coordination problems or anything.
Okay. And then you have a unique kind of perspective on basketball, having a father who played in the NBA. But, I mean, he really would have finished his career really kind of when you were a baby. You really wouldn't have seen him kind of firsthand play in the NBA. How much does he kind of impart basketball advice to you as opposed to just being a father?
99%. He's taught me mostly everything I know. We go to the gym all the time. He helps me with everything, and he's just all the influence in basketball with me.
Okay, great. And then we actually were able to speak with MJ Cage, Michael Cage's son, a few weeks ago. He plays for Mater Dei, and he mentioned that really his dad really just kind of really imparts a lot more kind of life advice to him. Do you find that that's something that your dad does, or is he really kind of, I know he's an AAU coach as well, is he really a big-time coach for you?
He's life coach and basketball coach. He relates basketball to life a lot of the times, and we just work on all that stuff. We have a whole lot of bonding time with each other, not just on the court, but off the court as well. So we talk about other stuff too. So it's always good to have a dad that can teach you life skills and can also teach you basketball skills.
Okay, great. And then I'm just curious, this has nothing to do with your interview, but how often does your dad talk about that national championship game?
Every time. When we're in the gym, when we're watching a movie, he has his ring on 24/7, and he'll mention something about it every day.
Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with Tyler Rawson, one of the top prep basketball players in the state of Utah. Tyler, you're ranked in the top 100 for your position, top 75 for power forwards, and you're committed to the Southern Utah University. But today you actually dominated De La Salle, and one of the better teams in the state of California. How much confidence do you have when you go against other teams that are even highly rated?
Oh, I mean, it builds a lot of confidence towards us and as a team. I mean, preseason, it's about challenging and seeing where we are. And, I mean, this victory gives us a lot of confidence, and we know where we are now. So.
Okay, great. And this victory, do you feel as though you'll probably be able to beat kind of any team that is set in front of you, or are you still kind of wary about some of the teams in your league?
Yeah, I mean, we're finally starting to figure things out, and I mean, we played great as a team today, and I feel like we're going to be very tough to beat.
Okay, and I know a lot of times coaches will miss on scouting and miss on players. I mean, anybody trying to evaluate kids at 14, 15 years old is very, very difficult to do. What have you tried to work on over the last couple of years to really expand your game?
Really just building strength. I mean, it was a big thing for me. It was building strength and then being able to bounce around inside. I mean, it's been a huge push since last year.
Okay, great. And as far as your strength goes, it looks like at least out there you were able to kind of hold your own with De La Salle strength-wise. One thing I was really noticing is kind of your fast jump. You were quick off the floor. Is that something you work on as well?
Yeah. My foot speed's really good for me, and I use it to my advantage a lot, and it's a great advantage for me.